won't talk again. I wanted to mean who talk clear to you, but double in the question. Hi, looking, then you want force and no more word again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to talk again. And said they call me to the office of OSP.
I think you explained to me that you come to get you say you carry tea to the man. After you carry tea to the man and you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I'll not fair.
Nobody, you getting very. You say asking you too much question. Hey, there's me things. Say make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
Okay, I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then do.
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go ahead now.
Go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. I say sorry now. Sorry.
See, Ali, you take time. You take time.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I said I can take time
to explain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Distinguished colleagues, this is a two-faced issue. This is a critical issue in this country, and we must stand up and speak the truth. Because for you to use the fact that prior to printing, it means you already tell me print. But before you print, come back to me. There is nothing in that paragraph that indicated that money should be printed. The essence of this exercise, the essence of this exercise is to know the facts. Everybody will have the opportunity to ask questions if you so desire.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon and a pleasant welcome to Freedom Hub on 87.9. This is the official voice of Freedom Communications Incorporated on a very sad day in Liberia. And of course, the African continent, specifically in West Africa. When we keep having series of issues of political instability, issues of crimes roaming the continent of Africa, with West Africa being one of the critical areas of recent. Nigeria, Liberia experienced, a very, very devastating evening yesterday when, we had a very tragic situation right here in the Broville area in district number 17. involving the former Chief Justice of Liberia, Her Honor Councilor Gloria Maya Musu Scott, when her home was attacked by criminals, and to a greater extent, they left one person injured, and her daughter, had to die in the process. A very sad news for us. Sad news for the people of Liberia. In the Federal Republic of Nigeria, specifically from the Enugu state, a senatorial candidate was killed. He was murdered. Again, was burned subsequently. I repeat, in the Nigerian state of Enugu, a senatorial candidate in the upcoming elections was murdered and subsequently burned by his assassins. This is so devastating for the continent of Africa, and of course, West Africa is of no exception. And we are calling on African people, African citizens, African leaders, African civil society actors to do all of what's in their power in showing that our wonderful, wonderful and beloved continent is going to be a place of harmonious joy, a place where we will coexist, a place where our disagreements will never transcend, will never move from the civility of the day to too many forms of brutality. My name is Kain. There are too many issues we're going to be talking about today, and extensive coverage of the recent results that came from the National Population and Housing Census. That data, that summary is going to be dealt with today. At the same time, we're going to be having some issues, some conversation about the issue at the Madame's, residence, at the former Chief Justice residence. The debate at the level of the National Commission on Higher Education versus the Ministry of Education is another trending issue that we intend to throw our lights on. On this edition, we're going to be making our position known as to what we make of the current exchange of views and ideas with reference to what's happening to the recent regulatory policy has been instituted and enforced by the Higher Commission on Education. I repeat, the Higher Commission, the Commission on Higher Education. That is what it is. The National Commission on Higher Education issued a regulatory policy, a policy intended to ensure that every president of higher institutions of learning, whether it is a college or university in this country, it should be a doctorate degree holder and not an honorary doctorate degree, but you should have your doctorate degree in a particular discipline and not the honorary ones. Not the one you go to one church and they say you are a doctor. That enforcement, that policy, met up with some form of resistance from the Minister of Education, the Honorable D. Ansusoni. And so those are issues we're going to be talking about. We are in the dry season. Don't get it twisted. A few months from now, we are going to be running into the rainy season. I see you building in the swamp. I see you drying the swamp. I see you cutting the mangroves. I see you doing all kinds of stuff with the wetlands. By the time it is starting to rain. Once it starts to rain, you'll be the same people complaining. Water everywhere. Water everywhere. water pooling everywhere, and so it is what it is. You look into the drainages, you build on the drainages, you build on the waterways, you have your connections in the midst of the drainage. Some of you go to the extent you block the drainage to construct your properties, to do whatever you want to do. You block the waters. You literally throw dirt in the waters. When they ask you, you blame it on the Environmental Protection Agency, you blame it on the WASH Commission, you blame it on the National Disaster Management Commission. But these are human behavioral practices that tend to shape the environment. When you do not confine yourself in a more refined way, you normally become victimized as a result of your own actions. And so on this medium, whilst we're here on this platform, it is going to be a routine advice to you that all of us together, we can take care of our environment. We can have the environment to be a wonderful place we want it to be. Too many things happening in the country. Too many things happening in the country. Too many issues going on in the country. Some are working, some are sleeping. Some are working, some are sleeping. The case was with Montserrat County when one senator is busy working, the other one is literally talking, and so forth. My name is Kai. Alexa is going to join us hopefully during the course of the program. But until then, I'm the lone presenter on this presentation. We're going to be taking a few bars of our team song. When we return, we're going to be having words from our sponsor at Crime Stoppers Liberia. And subsequently, Lemarco Gilman will say, we're going to be digging deeper into the issues making the news in Liberia and the rest of our 111 global village.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
What's your name? Stevie, you are Stevie at so? Yeah, go continue saying it.
Okay, all right. Hey, we sincerely apologize. I don't know. Cruiser will have to come to studio. There is a serious feedback with this line. I want to play this. There's a serious feedback with the international line. Yeah, this is not possible. There's a serious feedback here. You know that needs to be handled. You know. Yes, there's a serious issue with this line that needs to be worked on. Okay, so let's see if we can try this side. Uh, okay.
Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me,
What's your name? Any for?
and Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese,
What's your name? Any for?
and
What's your name? Any for?
Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese,
What's your name? Any for?
and Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea,
What's your name? Any for?
and Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese, Amasia.
Clap right there. Say ABC. What's your name? Any for?
And Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese, Amasia.
Clap right there. What's your name? Any for? What's your name? Any for?
And Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese, Amasia.
Clap right there. Any for? What's your name? Any for?
And Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese, Ama,
What's your name? Any for?
and Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese, Amasia.
What's your name? Any for?
And Steve.
Stevie, you are saying it also?
Yeah.
That go continue saying it.
And the Timombo, Sepombo, Timombo. Any me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etea, Inese, Amasia.
Clap right there.
Okay. We sincerely apologize. I was running behind the scene to do stuff, but we are back. I see a couple of people laughing. Yeah. My beginning AB is very good at the SSO. But trust me, most of us in this country, we graduated from high school, we're into university, we got our first degrees and so forth. But it is very, very, very troubling. It is very troubling. We cannot recite the SSO completely. Nobody should think it is. Nobody should think it is fun. This is really, really, really serious. Really, really, really serious. To say the SSO is a real, real challenge. So you should be grateful that my Peking series was able to recite the SSO in the way that he did. Very, very beautiful way. He had to do it. Let's know it one more time. Then it's good sometimes to ease the tension in the country. And when we appear on these kind of public platforms, it is expected that we're going to be on fiery. It's going to be warfare and so forth. Sometimes you ease the tension. Too many people going through a lot of stuff. So some of these things, as irrelevant as they are, got a lot of toll on people.
My name is Steven.
Stevie, you are saying SSO?
Yeah.
Let's go. Continue saying it.
And Timombo, Sepomo, Timomo. Any me, fi me, Sapai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, Ai, Mama, Tima, Etea, Emi, Inese, Amase.
Okay, all right. So today we woke up to, I don't know why I'm not finding myself, but it is not a good thing that you wake up in the morning and you hear terrible news, especially from right here in your country, and you want to think as to whether this issue of terrible news is all about, is all about your country. And by the time you know it, the thing is also in other countries. So it is so devastating. The last time in Turkey and Syria, for that one is a natural disaster. We had earthquake, very sad situation that people had to go through, on that side of the planet. Now, in Nigeria, let me go and bring you the statement from Front-Page, not Front-Page Africa, from the BBC. Let me bring you the story from the BBC. Let me read you that story. Let me read you that story from the yes, let me read you the story from the BBC regarding the Nigerian politician who was killed. It says a Nigerian Senate candidate has been shot dead and had his body burned by attackers while on his way from a campaign rally. Oyibo Chukwu's murder comes just days before the Nigerian general elections on the 25th of February 2023. This is a terrible news from our neighboring country. Now, while we are pondering over that one, this morning we woke up to the news of criminal attack at the residence of our former Chief Justice, Her Honor the Councillor Gloria Maya Musu Scott, in Broadville, District number 17, Montserrat County. This is so devastating. And the last time I listened to the news, ELBC News at 2, the spokesperson of the Liberian National Police was on, and he disclosed that the police is in conversation. The police is talking to some persons of interest. They're having an active investigation ongoing as to those who are, culpable, those who could be the suspects in the situation. Now, at the home of the former Chief Justice, it is reported that a lady got injured and she's admitted at the Redemption Hospital. Now, the daughter of the former Chief Justice of our country was unfortunate in the situation when she lost her life as a result of that robbery attack at the family house in Broadville. This is devastating. You know, and these are things that happen, sometimes randomly. But the reason why this is an issue of concern is because, according to sources from the crime scene in Broadville, a reverend in particular made it clear that there has been attempts on the property and life of the former Chief Justice. Not one time, not two times. This should be the third or fourth time it is happening. Now, this is where I am having some technical reservations. Somebody told me that at one point in time, the former Chief Justice had a press conference informing the public that her life, has been threatened. Her life has been attacked on several occasions. Now, my issue is whether the former Chief Justice notified the Liberia National Police of what was happening. In the event where it is proven that the LMP was duly informed about some life-threatening situations involving the former Chief Justice of our country, and they did nothing, in terms of providing some form of intelligence or physical manpower security at the home of the former Chief Justice, then it is purely a drop of the ball on the part of the Liberian National Police and our joint security. That is me. I mean, that is my entire say on the situation. I'm struggling to make my point here because I'm broken. The little girl is so full of life, very energetic. Now, the thing is, if this family had informed the police before that, oh, my life has been threatened on 2 different occasions, and nothing was done in terms of providing physical security at the home, national security for that matter, considering the fact that this woman is a former Chief Justice of the Republic. She presided over too many cases in this country. She presided over too many cases in this country. She handed down too many rulings. Too many rulings she handed down. I mean, people of such nature, one will be, it is going to be difficult for one to think of where an attack is coming from, because there are a lot of people that deal with on a daily basis. So when these people are retired, or when they are off the governmental post, once they raise an alarm, that alarm should be treated with so much caution and urgency. That is what I intend to say. Yes, the lady said, the madam made it clear that she raised alarm on 2 different occasions. Her home was attacked. Fortunately for her, the criminals and quote unquote, alleged assassins could not succeed in the first and second attempts. So at the first alarm that was raised, I would have thought that, considering this woman being a former Chief Justice of this country, a former senator of Maryland County for that matter, a high-ranking officer who presided over serious judicial matters in this country, I would have thought that a proactive police force would have provided maximum security at the home of that senator and former chief justice of our country. If not for maximum protection, but to serve as a deterrent, because the mere presence of a police officer is a deterrent already. It's a clear deterrent. I mean, to would-be criminals and would-be violators. The reason why the presence of one police officer can subdue up to 30 individuals is not because that police officer will to fire all 30 of them, but there is something called backup that the police officer who is pressing got at their disposal. So they can take out the telephone and call for backup at any moment. That one police officer can recognize just one person, and that person could be the lead in arresting the over 1 million people that want to come and cause trouble to a particular area. That's why the presence of a single police officer is a deterrent to anybody who will want to do stuff. I would have thought, this is an honest opinion, I would have thought that my good friend Colonel Patrick Sudu and my United Methodist good friend Colonel Melvin Sakor, I would have thought, and this is considering that they've received the information from the madam. If at all they were duly, and I repeat, if they were duly informed, and that is the reason why I try reaching out to Moses Carter. If anybody is listening and Moses is listening, he can also call me, because I want to know from Moses Carter as to whether, what we are gathering from the community members and Madam Scott, including some prominent people close to Madam Scott, the likes of Edward Klatume, posted on his page that, the Madam had press conference where she informed the people that her life has been threatened over the period. If that was brought to the attention of the police officially, if that was brought to the attention of the police by this lender counselor, and the police did not see it prudent to assign some officers at that woman's house, then it's a drop on the ball by the Liberian National Police. And I am not going to side with that. I mean, I'm being honest about this. Because it is going to be a devastating thing for I to know that the police was duly informed and a simple thing of such was not done. I hope they were not duly informed. Were they duly informed and they choose to neglect that hot crime zone and leave it vulnerable, then it means, somebody should have to account. Somebody should have to pay. Somebody somewhere should have to be responsible for what I would term as negligence. Howbeit, as hard as this thing may sound, or as hard as people may choose not to want to accept it, I think it is time Liberians, and perhaps the president wanted to get this message across to the Liberian people, but maybe, the way he put it through, apparently the timing was not maybe appropriate at the moment. But trust me, whether we like it or not, whether President Weah leaves power today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or 50 years from now, whether you have this other person who you're thinking about being president, becoming president, the issue of security in this country should first begin with ourselves. It's a sad situation. Like I told you, I would be disappointed if the woman told the police and the police refused to act. The police refused to provide her protection, especially as a former government official. That is said and done. I already made my position on it. But I'm saying to you, the chief of staff, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia tried to get a message across a few weeks ago, if not months ago. And a lot of us thought to play politics with the president's message. When you go to the great United States of America, or you go to places in the Middle East, or most of the countries in Europe, you will understand that those countries are merely, not being supported from the security standpoint by the physical presence of security officers, or better still, flesh and blood officers. Those countries that are doing so much well in advanced security are succeeding because they are heavily into artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. We bring it down in Liberia. They say CC camera, fingerprint. The other one, how you call this thing? Fingerprint sensors to your doors and other stuff. When you combine all of those security features, backed by electronic devices, and you put it through the security section, we call that artificial intelligence. That's what protecting most of the places. You can leave your house in America. You have your security system around your house, the camera all over your house. You don't even have to be in the house to know whether your house is safe. You got a camera system all around your house. Your whole house is well protected with the camera and the alarm system. You can get the software on your telephone, and when you on Broad Street, something happening to your house in Locatua, obviously you can just look on your telephone and see who's coming. Not only will you see who's coming so that you can make telephone call, you will also be able to call the police and say, police, please go to my house in Locatua, somebody there. Even when the president decided to run away, the house is already having a storage facility where everything that is being done at that house every single day will be recorded. So you can go back and get the recording of that stuff, and the police can use that raw data from your recording device to do subsequent search of a particular suspect in the event where crime was committed at your residence. Now, this is no politics. This is no politics. In my mind, this is what the president tried to convey in the last time. As great as the United States Marine is, as great as the United States Navy, as great as the National Guard, as great as the CIA, the FBI, and you can name the rest of the American Secret Service and intelligence institutions, the individuals in the United States go about protecting their properties with artificial intelligence. They have their CC cameras mounted. They have it mounted. Let's take this. Let's take this quick break. We're gonna be right back. It is a serious trouble when you are producing the show alone. Let's take the break to be right back. Okay, so we sincerely apologize. We had to settle something behind the scene very quickly. We have to settle something very quickly behind the scene. But like I was saying, this is what is done in advanced countries. This is exactly what you find people doing in advanced countries. That's what you see happening. Because, look, whether we like it or not, like I told you, as big as America, they don't have the level of security to protect everybody one at a time. No. But the reason why you find out in America when these things happen, the reason why you find out sometimes eventually you can find arrests being made. Quick, they arrest somebody, quick, they find the suspect, is because the artificial intelligence mounted at the properties, the private properties and public, structures will normally help. So yes, in Liberia, we are not at that level from the technology perspective, but at least for those of the folks who are well off in the middle class in this country, she want to try to do it as a way of precaution. If somebody is asking, what about those who are not in the middle class? The truth of the matter is, the percentage at which those in the middle class may be, victims to crimes, it's not the same with those who are not in the middle class. So it is better sometimes, in the wake of us relying on national security, which is very essential, which of course is the responsibility of the national security to provide protection for the people of the country. But in the absence of national security presence, individually, let's do what we can. Before, when our people started building houses, they used to use plank windows. They just build a house and put the window and use plank windows. This issue about iron bar, you use a steel rod or you use the angle bar to face iron bar, window bars, iron gate. In the 80s, in the 70s, our people never used to do it. Now, as the time continue to move on, as we continue to grow older as a country and people as a generation, these things start to change. Now, way back, some of the houses in the country, way back, only one big nail they used to put behind the door, 4-inch nail. By the time they put a 4-inch nail behind the door, it's okay, because nobody will touch that door until the next morning. All right? Nobody will touch the door until the next morning. Some of the windows, the window where you can open like this and you patch through it. That's why people made a music way back and said, jump through the window. Somebody husband jump through the window. This time, people can jump through window because all the window got window bar. It got iron bar. So nobody is jumping through window. Now, as the time continues to go by, you'll find out that security is being improved on a daily basis by ourselves personally. So even all of us who got our horses right now, most of you who way back 50 years ago, 30 years ago, who have, plank windows, you no longer have plank windows to your place. Now, the fact that we are improving on these things on a daily basis and the criminals themselves are becoming advanced on a daily basis, so it means we should always be a step ahead of them. So the way you do it, when you notice that people are committing crime at a very fast rate globally, it is difficult for law enforcement officers to always apprehend those people because the officers are not everywhere at every time. So what you need to do is to also put into place measures that will help, just in case where they will be able to breach all of your precautionary measures. Then there will be something that can give a lead into arresting. That's how we contribute towards the security of the state as well, as ordinary citizens. And I just hope most of the people who are in the middle class can do this.
You want that view?
yeah. No. I mean, we're not going to buy view on this radio. We are not going to buy view anyway. We are not buying views. Viewers for that matter, right? We are not buying viewers for that matter. Let me take this quick break to be right back. Okay, so welcome back, and we sincerely apologize. Trust me, something is going on behind the scene that I have to address. It is unprofessional. It is unethical. I apologize. I shouldn't be doing it, but trust me, we have to manage to do certain stuff. So, like I was saying, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. So the way you do it, look, the reason why when we build our houses, you can put a in fence. When you won't get fence, people put a house in fence. They put iron bar around the fence. They put glass bottle. It's just to serve as deterrent. It's to tell the would-be criminals that, hey, there is some form of protection here. Just by you having fence, some people can't even go there. Just by the house having window bar, so criminals choose not to go there because they believe that it's going to take them forever to break through. So since the earth is becoming so desperate, and this is not a Liberian thing, and that's why I don't like people playing politics with these kind of situations. The earth is becoming deadly. When you're setting Abidjan some days on the road, at Yopougon, Tresville, Plateau, before you know it, people taking cover, police and bandits. They call it bandits in their place, but as armed robbers. Police and bandits, will start to exchange fire. Those are things you see happening on a daily basis. But in Liberia, when these things happen, we won't play politics with it. There are issues that the police will have to do. And that's why I'm saying, if the police was duly informed about this woman, if the police were duly informed about this woman, having press conference informing the people about her situation, and they did not take decision, then that was terrible. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. If they were unable to deploy officers at her residence after informing them, it was bad. If she did not inform them, then that was the mistake on her part. Then we cannot hold them responsible because she was supposed to have them officially informed. Howbeit, it is a good thing that the police was able to deploy men. I'm told men are currently at the residence to prevent further, attacks and so forth. We are hopeful that, according to Moses Carter, that those who have been talked to, we are hopeful that they, will give us lead into who's doing that, because the soonest, the best thing we can do in the soonest possible time is to have those people apprehended, so that other folks who are planning to do similar stuff in this country will know that there is a law, and when you break the rules, you will be dealt with in accordance with the laws of the land. That is exactly what we ought to do. So that's number one. So our heartfelt condolences to the family. It is our prayer that those who carry on that terrible act will be apprehended, and the law will be the law in this matter. Now, the next line of conversation here has to do with the National Population and Housing Census. Forgive me, I'm being very, 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 I'm being very, very, how you call this thing? Distracted. There is something going on, and we're addressing it. The census was already conducted. And a report is out. Liberia is now at a population level. The country of Liberia is now at the population level of 5.2 million. We are about 5.2 million people in the Republic of Liberia. This is maximum improvement. We've increased in size of population. We've increased. Fellow Liberians, the population of our country to a greater extent, has increased. And this should be able to inform the decision of our government officials beginning year 2024, when the national budget is being passed or is being prepared. This should prepare our national leaders by the year 2024 that the national budget, fellow Liberians, when it has been prepared, so as to find means in handling the situations. Now let's look at the budget year. Let's look at the population. Montserrado County is with the total population of 1,920,000 people living in this county alone, Montserrado. Foreigner there, Liberian people there, small children there, big people there, women there, men there. All the people living, breathing in the country. The only people that did not check the people who are dead and gone. But they check those who are living. There are 1,920,000 people in this country. Now, next to Montserrado, we have Nimba County in terms of population. 621,841 human beings living in Nimba. Next to Nimba is Bong County. 67,502. I'm going to stop the conversation at Lofa and Magibi, where Lofa is 376. Magibi is 304,946. Maybe we say Grand Bassa is 293,557. Grand Jida is 216,692. Cape Mount is 178,798. Maryland is 172,202. Sino is 150,358. Bumming, 133,668. River G, 124,653. Grand Cru, 109,342. Bapaloo, 95,995. And River Cess, 90,777. Okay, so this is the number. This is the total number we have. This is the total number we have. Fellow Liberians, that's the total number we have. Now, these numbers, when you look at them, Montserrado, Nimba, Bong, Magibi, Bassa are the counties with the highest incidence of people living, residents. They are the counties in terms of the higher numbers of individuals living there. Look, the reason is very simple. The only reason you find these counties as the most populated counties in the country is because these are places where the jobs are. Hello? These are places where you can find something to do and they will pay you. These are places that got small, good roads. We're talking Montserrado, we're talking Nimba, we're talking Bong County, we are saying Magibi, we are discussing Grand Bassa. These are places where at least you get good roads. So the population in these places, are huge. So you have a lot of people living in Nimba, Monserrato, Magibi, Bassa, Bong, then people in Grand Cru, Maryland, River G, Sino, Bapolu, Bomi, Cape Mount. You have a lot of people living around these places than people in areas. The reason is because this is where you find the jobs. You find a lot of jobs in these counties, and you find a lot of infrastructure in these counties as compared to the other counties. I'm not saying as compared to other countries around the world, as compared to the other counties. The essence of the population and housing census is to inform government on how to tailor the developmental agenda of the country. The sad thing about it is the fact that in 2008, we had a population census in this country. That data was to inform the leadership at the time in Liberia that there was a need to decentralize the country, because when you have the entire country, at a particular place, the whole country, almost other people pack one place. Decentralization is a serious challenge. Unfortunately, we as a country under that administration, we were unable to utilize the data that we receive in terms of distributing the wealth of the country. Now, this census should give the administration of the day, this current administration, the opportunity to redesign the areas of priorities in terms of making appropriation for governmental expenditure. Monserrato County got 1,920,000 people, and somebody opened their mouth to me the last time to say, Maryland, Grand Green got more number. River G, people are not plenty there. The reason why people are not plenty in River G, the reason people are not plenty in Maryland, people are not plenty in Grand Cru, Sino, Riverside, is because these counties are far from the capital city, which is Monrovia. These counties don't have jobs. The companies that have been going to those counties over the period, like MWPI used to be in River Bear, in River G, providing millions of dollars, and those millions were not invested in River G, but rather sent to Monrovia to go to other places that River G could not even benefit. The Cavarawa Corporation from Plebo, Maryland County has been operating in a place for over 50 years, or whatever the case is, has still to be corrected. The monies that have been generating from that county, those funds were not spent deeply in the county in terms of improving the infrastructure and providing jobs locally. It came to national government. So the governments, way back, and government today, and government to come, if this is what we are talking, if they were not making the intervention, those governments were unable to utilize the people local resources in giving them direct benefit. So as a result of those things, you find out that bulk of the citizens from those counties decided to move in search of greener pasture, in search of opportunities, in search of jobs, in search of education, in search of better living conditions. So, and Oliver Nyemakai left Plebo, Southern District to come to Monrovia to come and hustle. So, a John Nambedi, not Nambedi, a John Nambe, we say, is from Sino County. He's in Monrovia to come and hustle. A Johnson Bioga Davis from Riverside County is in Monrovia to hustle, because in Seatown, in Yapatown, there is nothing there, nothing incestuous. Johnson Clinton from Sino County, from Mississippi Street in Greenville, or from Boconjide, or from how you call this other place, in Sino, too many of the places, right? He's in Monrovia because he cannot have the opportunities that he would need to have in Sino County that will keep him there. So as the end result, Monserrato County will be boasting of having zero number of people, because people who sort of be in Grand Jide, how you call the place, in Grand Cru, they are in West Point. They're not in West Point because they're happy. The sea in West Point not bigger than the sea in Sasktown. The sea in West Point ain't bigger than the sea in Grand Sass. The beaches in West Point ain't clean and decent than the ones in Grand Sass and Picnic Sass and other places. They're here because when they go on the sea to fishing and they bring that fish, they make more money here in Monrovia than when they go to do fishing in Grand Sass. Are you getting it? So before you argue that Monserrado got out of the number, the other country, Fisi ain't got number, when you subtract the crew people from Grand Crew that live in West Point, Nicrutown, Point 4, Corner West, Logantown, Blamotown, all of the crew town in this country, when you subtract them and put them back to Grand Crew, you may not have the same number of people in Monserrado anymore. When you subtract the number of crew people from Grand Crew and Sino, you take them from Monserrado County, they say, look, go to your place. You may not have that same number. Now, the reason why they are here and the reason why you also find a lot of Kissy people from Lofa County, sitting in Chikizu Factory, sitting in Buzi Quarter, is because the opportunities for jobs are not available in Foya. They are not available in Wasonga. They are not available in Pelo. They are not available in Zozo, in Vonjima and other places, in Kwanum district. So they come to Monrovia because there where you can find multiple universities, there where you find a lot of NGOs with their headquarters, there where you find most of the banks, there where you find a lot of opportunities, and so they will come here in search of greener pasture. The country will have to change that narrative. To do that is to redesign the government's expenditure a plan is to do the redesigning of it. Use this current data not as the copy and paste situation. And when you redesigning the budget, let the budget reflect in such a way that it is going to shift the manpower of the country. It's going to shift the infrastructure of the country. Because more people living here only because of your current air. Thankfully, this government was able to take current beyond the borders of Monserrado. People in Bomina, in Tash Horses, they got freezer, they got fin. But a Tash Horse they get, but at least the managing they get current there. It's happening in Cape Mount, it's happening in Bon County. So you got current leaving Monserrado now, going all across the country. Thankfully, it is happening. So you know the next thing? When the roads are being built, from Ganta to Saglapia, the way it has been done, Saglapia to Tabata, and we are witnessing the road leaving from Fishtown to come to Kelibo Kaweke, and subsequently it will go to Zweju, and we are also seeing the road from Banga to Salahe up to Zozo, Vonjima, and you before you know it is in Foya. When these things are done, the current project being executed by this government is the way how you can reshift the demographic of the country. That's how you can reshape it. So in the next 5 years, if this country will continue on the same developmental trajectory where major highways are being constructed, energy expansion is on course, water and sewer just got through with the pipelines, they are about to distribute waters to other counties, taking water across the other places. You think somebody get right to consider Blamotown, Logantown, to consider in one Zinho when they make a big land in Sasktown where you can buy a hell of a big horse. I talk about beach land, they make a big horse and be looking on the sea. He got current there, he got water there, quota coming. Anytime you want to see Moria, he can get in car in less than 19-21 hours. He in Moria. He can go by no car hitching. Nobody want to stick here in Moria to be living over the Soniwen gutter. You think people got any interest in living inside the drainage in Monrovia? Normally, you think people decide to come live in Monrovia where behind your window that somebody own a restroom, in front of your living room that somebody own a timber bucket area? You think people want to live like that? But they managed to do it. They managed to live here. They managed to remain here because that is the only place they find the opportunity. And don't say they are lazy. Some of them want to make farms, but the past governments from 1847 refused to take roads to the interior. So when these people make their farms, when they grow their crops, they can realize anything. Sometimes they grow the banana get ripe in the attic, it get rotten. So no, in the next year, the man won't go farm again. Even when you choose a farm, you just make small farm where your family will eat, because the last time he made big farm, he had enough produce. He could not sell the produce because no road to market, no farm to market road. So when I went to the 2-3 years time, he said, but the whole family thing, I'm making nothing for inside. I just eating this and that. When I obey her, let me go Montreal. So the man come to Monrovia. He joined Intercon Security because no job here. He's not educated. He know anything. The man joined one cigar security. He started working in the supermarket as supermarket attendant. But the man is reduced. The human capacity of the citizenry of the country will start to diminish because you are not having the opportunity scattering across the country. But when the roads are being built all across the country, look at me now. The school I went to, not in Montreal. Forget all that thing. I went to St. Francis Catholic School in Maryland County. Everything you see, you think I am today, I got it from there. Forget all the university thing we're doing in Montreal. That just polishing. Some of the polishing said we ourselves can be polishing it. But we got the foundation from the hinterland. In your widest imagination, do you think if the opportunities available in Monrovia, if you have similar opportunities in the Leeward counties, do you think people like us will want to come here? Do you think the bright sons and daughters from Lower County will want to come here? People will remain in their respective counties and grow the local economy, grow the local, business class, grow the local intellectual class, grow the local infrastructure class of the counties. That's what they will do. So this whole census came the right time, and it is essential that we keep asking the authorities that if the past government, I'm talking about alien government alone, but Tato, Judy Bryan, all the other men, if the past the door, the trouble, if they didn't get it right, it is time that people start to use the new data that we have in shifting the developmental drive of the country. You think the people that live in Pussy Quarter, you think they're happy? Nobody have been on over 50 years, 30 years, 50 years, 75 years. Don't you know? They put in a so anyway. You got one house, one big house, 27 room inside, 27 room in a hall. To the extent they can put ceiling there this time. The moon is ceiling and they put a transparent zinc so that light can be in the hall because the window second, the whole hall dark, no window. You think people are happy? That you got one hall, 20 rooms inside, face to face. As soon as you come in your room, like other men in a room door you're looking at. When you stand to your room door, other men stand to your room door, that on the corridor between your. On Sunday, I think you can see all the copa because the weekdays, people can cook. During the weekday, people eat kobo. They do that normal hustle. On Sunday night, everybody wants to show that they can cook. So on Sunday, you see 24 copa Atlanta in the hallway. The whole hall eat it. All the men take out the share. All the men take out the share in the hall, walking around. Because you can wear a share, the whole hall eat it. You're sweating. People are not happy to live in the conditions, but the reason why they do is because you find out that this is where you have the movement and the shakings. This is where you find most of the things happening in the country. So the ACO has to remain here. Because the governments before, they didn't think that it was necessary to take that pitiful quota from Ganta and carry the Sacre-Pied and carry the Tapeta and carry the Tostan, carry the Zwaju. They thought it was not okay. You take quota to Zwaju, you take quota to Tapeta, you take quota to Tostan with the legislature accompanying it. You think somebody who got their land, the first thing they make a whole land in Tostan. The main family part of the family that got all the land in Tostan. Good road going there. He legislated there. The next thing you'll see, AME University won't go build one branch in Tostan. So you drive from that one in Tostan, you drive from the one in Montreal that you see AME, you drive from. You almost like you're attending UL, Capitol Hill campus, and you're attending Fendia. Graduation day, all of y'all graduated from the same University of Liberia, the same class of 2018, 2015, 2021, 2023. When Corin end up Grand there and the Kota Road, go to Grand there from Montreal to Grand where you will spend maybe 8 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours, whatever the case is. the United Methodist University will want to go and open another big branch in Zwedru where Methodist church members in the southeast and other Liberians in the southeast who want to go to school, go to the UMU, they will remain in their parent houses in Zwedru. They will remain in the parent houses in Celestin. They will remain in the parent houses in the Kunembo district, right in that St. Grange there. They will not come to Montreal where they will be paying rent. They'll be paying $50, $60 US for rent. They will not come here. They will not come here. They can remain right there in their parent homes. From their parent houses and go to United Methodist University. From the parent homes, they can go to Cottington. Cottington could have their branches extending. You could have Echo Bank, all of the other banks taking their branches all across the country because they will not find it difficult to take their money there because the road paved. So it will not be hard for them to transfer money there. When the money too much to the local bank, it will not be hard for them to send it to Montreal because the road paved. Number two, Corin there. And when anywhere you see road go, Corin can follow. When Corin follow, that water. Now, as you have these things done in the country, you will notice that if in the next 6 years, instead of the population of Montserrat County increasing, it will start to depreciate. Because as we speak, the people who live here around Sacré-Pied in Nima County, some of those people who came from Sacré-Pied and are in Monrovia and other places, the quota already passing by Sacré-Pied right now. In the next 1 or 2 months, it may pop out Sacré-Pied totally. You know how many of those people will be returning home? Especially the one who got nothing to do here. You know how many of them will go and say, okay, I left Sacré-Pied because the road from Sacré-Pied to Ganta are too bad. When I make my farm, I can't get nothing. But the way the quota go there now, let me go back. If I make my plenty farm, my banana farm, my pineapple farm, I can get good money from in it every 6 months. Then the nonsense intercom security thing what I'm doing here, cigar security thing what I'm doing here, private security thing what I'm doing, and I'm getting money. I just send it to the bank, more and they give me $60, more and they give me $50. The man can choose to go back to Sacré-Pied and make a Grumpy farm. And in 8 months' time, he started to sell bags of Grumpy to the library market. He could grow banana. In 9 months' time to 1 year, they make us start providing pickup full of banana and plantain to the library market. When you keep doing these things, food will start being, sufficient. Jobs will be created. There will be decongestion of the city. And so you will not have the whole overcrowding of the place. The place just pack up. You will not find it. No human being on the earth will not let good life. You find somebody living in one hall because they are there, because way back, people did not set the foundation for them to enjoy to where they are. Some people you see living in Zinhose, in Montreal, Zinran, don't rule on them. Some of them left big houses back in their interior. Some of them left decent houses back from the counties they are from. Some of them they left decent concrete building in Lofa. They left the other one, but when the horse sitting there and no work, no other employment opportunity, you can live there forever. You will suffer, so you got to move. So some of them you see them, don't overlook anybody you see. Back to the census. Let this new census data inform the decision of our decision makers. It should not be business as usual. Mozzarella pack, not medicine. It packed because I had to put air. The reason I've been stopping the other ports around the country from being developed is because who told you the business people in the country now want to ship their goods through Buchanan Port or Harper Port? They want to do it. They don't want to go through the APN terminal stress at the Freeport of Monrovia. They don't want to go through all of those stuff. But when you ship your goods to Standard Port, how do you get it to Monrovia? It will get ratty on the road because the road has been neglected. 50, 60 years ago, they neglected the road. That if you then, at least when you go to Ganta, you see road going to Sacré-Pied towards the southeast. That if you there, at least when you go to Banga, there is a road leading from Banga going towards Lofa County to go and hit the Manicoma border. So the new census data should inform our decision makers that when they're preparing the budget for 2024, even every month and every year, I beg your pardon, if you will allot $50 million every year to 50 kilometers of roads, And maybe you divide 20 kilometers per each of the major highways. So this year we find $50 million and put it in the budget. And we say we will add 20 kilometers on the current road project between Tapeta to Kelipo Kawekin. So year one, we're adding 20 million. In the absence of donor funds, that's what the national budget should be looking at for. So when you put $20 million in your budget for the stretch of road between Kelipo Kawekin to Tapeta in Nima, then you take $20 million again and put it in the road from Salaye towards Vonjima, 20 kilometers to stretch it, and you take another 20 million, you put it in the road from Buchanan towards Riverside. When you tackle those 3 roads, every budget year you put 60 million in the budget, 20. The next year you put another 20. So every year you do 20 kilometers on each of the highways. So year 1, 20 kilometers. Year 2, 20 kilometers. Year 3, 20 kilometers. In 3 years' time, you have 60 kilometers. When you run 60 kilometers from Salaye to go towards Vonjima, you will power Zozo. There are plenty of places you power. When you stretch 60 kilometers from Bassa, which is Buchanan, to go towards Riverside, you could even power the Temple Bridge. I still to be corrected on that one as well. When you stretch 20 kilometers from Tabeta to Waterston, you will be reaching somewhere good. So after 6 years, just say 6 times 20. That's 120 kilometers a government will be doing in their term. Although they are competing priorities, but I don't think setting aside $60 million every year to do road, I don't think it's going to be a difficult thing for us. And the way we can achieve it is for the lawmakers to take the lead, because they are the ones who can go through the budget and do the scrutiny. They will have to accept to take some of the cuts. They will have to accept to reduce some of the ministries and agency budgets. They will have to accept to cut some of the travels of some of the ministries and agencies. That's how you look. It makes no sense that a country struggling for infrastructure, projects like roads, connectivity, electricity, and we're spending unnecessarily. To the credit of this current government, they reduced most of the issues significantly, but we will still need further reduction. Yeah, most of the ministers, they can travel too much this time. Even when they travel, no good DSA again. Before, come on, assistant minister DSA that almost $10,000 for one foreign trip. Where even that whole meeting, you will not talk. You go to the meeting, they will not recognize you. You're not talking. The only thing you get one big tech on a neck and sit down behind one table to put labra on it. In the past, that man go sit on it, DSA, so now 7,000, 8,000, 3-4 days trip. That's how the beginning of making money in the town. That's how they were making money. So when we cut all the unnecessary expenditure and try to put the money into roads, and we say every year let's put $60 million in the budget for roads. Then we do it 20 to each of the major highways. In 6 years' time, that good progress you make. In fact, when the World Bank see you doing it, when the IMF see you having that kind of initiative, when the African Development Bank see you doing it, when the Arab Bank see you doing it, they themselves can come here and say, look, this country is serious to improve her roads. We are seeing it through what they are doing from their own national budget they are generating. So let's do some. The good thing is the governments, try to do it, but it's at a slow pace. They grant out the Sacred Road, that government money. In a taxpayer, how you call this thing? It is not money from donors. It is taxpayers' money doing the road from Ganta to Sacred. So what we are saying, since we're able to do it as a pilot project, let's use the new census data to influence our decision in terms of making appropriation to the national budget. This is what's going to help change the narratives. Like I told you, for people to be arguing, Monserrato Nima, we get number, we get the other one, Bongano, we get number, it's because the places close to Monrovia got the opportunity. They got good roads. There are people who live in Banga, they work in Monrovia. They only squatting here. Twice they go back Banga, they go sit down, they attend their churches in Banga. Hello, they attend their churches in Banga. Because the connectivity is there. If we got paved quota from here to Grand Crew County, in less than 21 hours, you get on your smaller car. In 21 hours time, you're in Grand Crew. Less than a day. You can pick up from here 6 in the morning. By 11 p.m., you sitting in Maryland drinking beer. You leave from here 6 o'clock in the morning. By 11 p.m., the same day, you'll be in Maryland, Plebo. You're drinking your beer, drinking your Ivorian beer, the beer from Ivory Coast. But because of the bar roll since 1847, and our people from Maryland is saying who we, that whole road issue been giving us trouble. And so you won't go Maryland, you're scared because you spend 2-3 weeks on the road. Thankfully, this government is pushing the road to the people. But as you keep pushing the road to the people, one way I think you can expedite the developmental drive of this country and reduce some of the public, congestion that we are having in the capital city and other major counties is to take the projects outside. The way we take the project outside is to connect the country. And that's why people like us will support the president. Because it has been over 30 years, over 45 years since the quota went to Ganta. I stand to be correct. It has been over 30 years since the quota entered Ganta. What has been the problem? That since the quota entered Ganta, 1 kilometer in leave from Ganta to go anywhere. The president came and the mayor is doing the one from Ganta to Saclay Pier to Tabeta. That project has already been signed, contract given to the contractor. The contractor owe the country nana. But just imagine your whole here say from Ghana to Tabeta, Dakota. Imagine it because the money already paid for. If the government before President Weah had done the same portion of road that he was able to do in 6 years, in their own 2 times 6 years, or some of them who has 7 years, that road, maybe the president will take the road from Swaju. And by this time around, the road should be entering phase time, and it is done. But sadly, it was not the case. Since it is happening now under this administration, all we can ask is for the administration to step on it more, to apply more effort. And that is what will solve the problem. That is most likely the only thing that will solve the problem in this country. And so, yes, the number is 5.2 million. We may argue. We may have issues to say about the number. But that number is a clear reflection of who we are in this country. The policymakers should work with it in designing the plans for the government. That is the best thing that will help all of us in this country. And so, like I told you, I'm very sorry that initially I got distracted from too many issues. I was handling something backstage. But it is all over now. So we're going to take our break. When we return from our break, we open up the lines and hear your own input. But remember, like I told you, the people that you see in Monrovia, some of them you see in Zing houses, don't cost them. Some of these people are here. They are living here because they're here to hustle. Some of them won't go back home, but the road alone to go back home is a trouble. Thankfully, it has been worked on in this administration. And that's why when you ask us and people say, why should President Weah be re-elected? I say, look, because he's opening the country. Simple. You can talk all of the things you want to talk. When the country is not open, the first thing that will happen, hunger will kill people. Most of the people you see angry in Montreal, angry in the capital city, that hunger. When food is when you have shortage of food, people cannot have access to things that can keep them alive. They get angry. Simple things can make them angry. So you find a lot of people angry because the country is not, when the country is open, you will have availability of food. So food will become cheaper. So when you even go do small job and they're not paying you good money, but at least that small money you're making, it will be able to buy plenty of food. That's simple economic theory. They want to pay you small money, but once food plenty, when food plenty, too much people will not say they're expensive because you say your food expensive, it will spoil in your hand. So when they bring a banana, you say $30. The other man just come from a farm, you bring a whole truck, it may say $20. The other man just come, he may say, oh, but what if I do $20? I do $15. Before you know, a banana at $10 in the country. So when you make a $300 LD salary, You can buy a banana. You go, you buy pawpaw the other day. You buy a cassava. You buy a cup of red. You okay. The small money can get you more food. But when the country is not open, people will be, look, most of the people you find who send out to the bank, and now when you meet the security people at the bank, respect them. When you meet the security people and the supermarket workers, respect them. Treat them with dignity, because most of them, they are here to just hustle. They are doing security job at the supermarket, at the bank, at the schools, the different places. The opening people get is because in Monserrato is where they can find something to do. When they open, nobody can get in Maryland for somebody to open a payment. I mean, I'm literally saying now. There are guests there, but how many guests you have in Maryland? I mean, get where people want to pay. How many guests you get in Great Crew that people want to pay? So when you find them in a place, respect them. They're not doing it because they like it. Who told you they don't want to sit down and wear coat suit and wear necktie and make fabulous salaries? They're doing these things because the country is not open. Open the country up. That man will take out that ratting private security uniform and jump back on a farm. Because you know that when he made a cassava farm, at the end of the year, he'll be able to get 2-3 camoto for cassava. He bring it to town or in care to any other neighboring, a town. He will make good money. You'll buy it, right? And buy other thing and you go, and he was making 4 hectares of cassava farm. The next thing the man will do, the man will double it to 10 hectares, 15 hectares. That's how you start to grow the plantation. Go to Arcos. The people in San Petro in Arcos, they don't even respect people in Abidjan because the same life is there. Current in San Pedro, good road in San Pedro. The men in San Pedro, they got their own cocoa farm, they got a palm farm, they got the yam plantation. They're making money. So you don't get time for anybody who come from Abidjan. The men wear on sandals, you wear on sandals. The men wear tech jeans, you wear on tech jeans. That in Liberia, the men come from Moria, he go both Gizetan in Riverside. Everybody looking at him, they treating him like king. Because no road there. So the men come from the quota in B-ball. But when you find quota all over the place, nobody can do 50 job with a friend. Everybody living the life. So when you find a man you're doing, he let security where he doing a thing in passion, he sleep out and doing the thing around the place, respect him. He's doing it because he not want to steal. He's doing it because he not want to be armed robber. The country treated him bad. Over 50, 60 years, the country treated him bad for refusing to open up. And so when you have a government that's opening up the country gradually, people like us will encourage that government to go beyond what they are doing. So I'm asking the current administration that as we begin next year, you will have to start to prepare the budget in such a way that it will further expand the country. That is the message for you today. We're taking break. We are done taking break. We'll open up the lines and hear you, hear what you have to say here on 87.9.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia.
Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia.
Okay, so what? My man Anthony Saki, the message one thing enjoy at the 24 copa in the hallway. All the men take out a share because of the heat, and the women are throwing wapping in each other pot because they won't know what's in the other get cooking, for her. Yeah, for her husband. Yeah, but the people ain't happen living no kind of life. But when the country is so locked, especially for years, that's what can happen. And so that's why you see people like us who support the president, because he's the one opening the country. As the people in Lofa, they will tell you, say he the one carrying the quota to them. As the people in Granger, he will tell you, say he the one taking the quota from Ganta to Sacré-Pierre, from Sacré-Pierre to Tapeta and onwards to Tostan. Ask them, they will tell you. You know, ask them, they'll tell you, say he the one putting quota in Cestos, and later on they'll connect it to Bassa. You know, ask them, they'll tell you, you know, he's the one having a lot of these project, Medina to Robertsport Road in Cape Mount. So yeah, if the country are open ever since, come on, you will have a lot of goodies. You know, see what your man people who's will be owning a farm. You know how many farm owner in Aroko get cars? The man just selling pineapple, he get a car, he may park a car, people working for him. The same car lawmaker and use. In fact, lawmaker and go to farmer in Aroko to credit. Time for campaign. I don't want saying it. Ask the lawmaker then. Let them call the lawmaker friend in Aroko to tell you. Lawmakers and go to farmers in Aroko to credit money during campaign. It's because of the benefit the country can have when the country is open up. Let the census serve as an opening, you know, for our country. We take this time to go over to the phone lines and interact with all of you, our callers. 866-500-104-776, 104-104 are the numbers to join the conversation. Let's take the first person. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, KOK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my name is William Massaquoi, and I join you from Pennsylvania,
Go ahead.
USA.
Go ahead, Roland.
Yeah. You know, KOK, you have said everything. You know, when the president spoke about the CC camera, people politicized it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just the honest truth. Just imagine as sophisticated as America is. You have people using CC camera to almost every home. The reason for which people do this is because the police is not going to be everywhere at the same time. So whenever there is a crime committed, they always use the CC camera storage to trace the perpetrator. So it also applies to our society. Like you said, for those that are in the middle class, these are things that they can afford. So for your own security, you can try to get it in at your home. So even if somebody comes to burgle around your home and the police could not make it on time, but with the CC camera review, they can be able to trace that person. And then, like the one you spoke about, the sensor. Yeah, the sensor is that is very, very good. It is about time that government try to apportion the budget according to priority. Because I know the president, that's going to be his next target. That's why he pushed these sensors to make sure that it's conducted and completed within time. Okay. President, we are going to do a lot of positive things. It's most especially in terms of road connectivity in our country. You don't have to struggle taking your produce, thinking how you're going to take it to the market to make money.
Okay.
But I know the president is going to do a lot of positive things in terms of road connectivity, and our country is going to be a better place. Thank you for the opportunity, KOK. Again, I'm William Massaquoi from USA.
William Massaquoi from Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. Let's take this other person. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello, I'm James David calling from 24th Street.
James David from 24th Street. Go ahead, James.
You have said it all. You see, the opening of the country is very important. Like my cousin came from Sano Country last night. Yeah, right here, 4 years. After he told me he paid $5,000. How much you used to pay before? He said he was paying $10,000 from Sano here from Greenville. He paid $5,000 because I asked him about the road situation. He said it's not complicated, but most of the places are fixed. So the driver attacking less than before. You see why it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, exactly what you were saying. Now I will come back to the budget as you were saying. Every time you face piece of the road, before the president says here is over, he has faced 20 times fixed. You see the 120 miles added to the present road situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pat. Thank you. We leave you. We take this other person. Hello, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Chief. Let's hear you, sir. What's your name? Where do you join us from?
My name is Fred Iwia, and I do join for Electoral District 14, Clarendon to be precise.
Go ahead, Fred. Let's hear you.
Oliver, let me appreciate you and that of your co-host. I guess that you and Elisa are in studio together.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Oliver, you have said it all. Let us be frank. It is true that governments sometimes have their own losses. But if you check the losses of this government, that of achievement, I think this government heading somewhere that all Liberians can rejoice. However, like the quarter who just left the land, I myself I just came from refugee just of recent. No, to admit, it is true that the statistics was seen or deployable for employment is seen or deployable for. But at least there's a layer upgradement that is taking place. Let us be patient with this regime. This regime is our own. This president see us as a own. And then that is why he is bringing forth development that will impact our lives. With rural infrastructure, we believe that Liberia can achieve our goals in terms of development. Thank you very much. Let me afford all of the opportunity. Have a God bless day.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's leave you and take the other person. Go ahead, 1 minute.
Yeah, how you doing, Chief?
We are great, Chief. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm somewhere to calling from Johnsonville, Masota community. Thank you very much for the topic on the discussion. Let me commend you really. You know, okay, if we're talking about development, there is 3 things that develop a country or that make a country to be developed. Now, 1, we got road connectivity, which of course is being seen under this regime. 2, current have been seen under this regime.
You gotta lower your monitor.
Okay. Current also. After current, we got infrastructure building. Infrastructure. These are things that make up a city or make up a country to be developed. When discussing development, there is no way you can leave out all these 3 things that are just short-listed. Let me say thank you very much for the government. The government continues to do well, and we will keep advertising the good of the government. Okay. I want to speak to the issue of the former Chief Justice whose daughter was stabbed to death by a notorious criminal. Yeah, but you know, this morning I went on media and then I read all that information. But then the question you're asking, myself will have that question to ask too, because I'm a criminal justice student also. Okay. The very first time they said that criminal make a attempt on the house. And the woman, you know, knowing herself for her level or position, so it is not something that she was to remain silent on. No, she was to disclose the issues to the national police. The police
the both of us are not aware as to whether she did or not. There are reports that she informed the authorities, you know, of all of the previous attacks at her house. That's what we are told.
Okay, because the information I read, I did not see anything like that. Because any information that go on media always relay all those things.
Oh yeah, so we will speak with Moses Carter and get the clarity. But we were kind of saying if at all she informed the police and the police did not provide personal security for her, then that was a drop of the ball, you know, by the police. But in the event where she did not inform the police, then you know she should be held, you know, liable for.
It's so devastating. The action is so devastating, really.
Yeah. All right.
But however, we pray that God take control.
Thank you very much, my brother. Let's leave you and take this other question. 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chief.
Okay, and good evening to your colleagues. My name is Fode Muhammad Akwe Political Yen. I'm the National Secretary General of the Abandoned Seditions.
Go ahead, Fode.
You know, okay, when I can recall when the president said everyone should be security by themselves. Many of our colleagues, our brothers and sisters around, they got seriously bitter with that statement. But if you look at it logically, being a security by yourself does not mean that you should go and take private security and bring them to your hand and start paying them if you don't have the means. But you can, we got people that can provide for themselves. Madam Gloria Moses Scott, she's not a low class individual anymore. She's got, I can even say she is now a high class. She's not even low class individual or second or middle class. She had the capacity to even bring a private security and go to the institution are responsible to provide arms and give her and give that security the arm, or even bring CC camera, place it in every corner of an area. After you have experienced this thing the first time, the second time, then you have still protect yourself. Then you my man, Mujiska, we need to call her and ask her some questions. She knows something about that.
No. You can do that. I'm not going to accept that from you. We leave you. We take the other person. Hello.
How are you, okay?
We're great. Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Grace Baker calling from Steven to our estate.
Go ahead.
Thank you for your talking point. Yeah, what you say is very, very correct because.
Are you there? Oh, we miss you out. Let's take the other person. Go ahead.
Yeah, how are you going?
We are great. Let's hear you, Chief.
Yeah, anyway, I'm Joseph Star Jr. calling you from New Matadi Estate.
New Matadi. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cleveland community. Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is my first time participating on the show. I much appreciate you and your co-host. You've been doing well for the Liberian people.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Actually, we're just living in our own country by the grace of God. We don't have a security. And actually, we are not 100% depending on the Liberian National Police. Okay, on a scene where video been attacked, Liberian National Police were there and never went there. Okay. Hello, you getting me?
I'm hearing you. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I will stop there. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, we'll leave you right there, my brother. Thank you. Let's leave you and take this other person. Hello. Okay, we missed out on that person. Let's take this other one. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello. Okay.
Hello, ma'am. Let's hear you.
Hello. Yeah, hello. This is my calling from St. Paul's. Okay. I want to tell the former Justice Minister, sorry.
Chief Justice.
Chief Justice. It's too sad.
Well, yeah.
It's too sad. It could be anybody.
That's why it is.
It could be anybody. But I get. So, the only thing I get to say, the devil facing. If she knew the time the people did asking to work for the first time, the second time, they went back for the second time. They come around that they getting one or two things. You told them there. Anybody who you know coming here will say you know. Look at how they Google get. I fight today, my morning. I'm a mother. I'm a mother. I too sorry. I tell sorry again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
I have my sympathy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We leave you right there. We leave you right there. Let's take this other person on the line. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
How you doing, Pap?
I'm fine. How are you?
We're great.
Thank you for this topic. My first time calling this station.
Wow. Thank you.
Let me narrate a small story from Moravia to Lofa County at that time when we had to do Monkey Bridge. No bridge that got stick. Turbo King, we put concrete. Concrete bridge, bridge it. Now, I tell John we are. And that's a small thing you need to carry on that side. Okay? So thank you for this, President.
Thank you.
We are not going to listen to really those that just sit down and talk, doing nothing. Sorry, my name is John P. Colley, John P. Macaulay.
Okay, Mr. Colley, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. I beg you. Thank you for this, President. I listen to Mr. A.B. all the time. They say he and one other man they call
Michael Gilbin.
Yes, sir. I follow your show. As I follow this show, when this station was not ready, dealing with Costa, when Costa was bombing Labasi to this government. Until you came before AB came. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat Colley. Thank you very much. We leave you. We take this other person, and after we go for the female general. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Good evening, okay.
Good evening, Chief.
Yeah, my name is Anthony Gamna, and I call you from Congotown Back Road.
Congotown Back Road. Go ahead, Bernard.
Okay. Let me take this time to appreciate the president and for so much effort on the issue of rules.
Mm-hmm.
And the president is really elected. I know we did at Monaco, we did at Paris, and other countries, European countries, because I was fortunate to be on the campaign team 2005. We're in Monaco Hotel in Grangy there. And when the president didn't mention about rule, I remember keep on two zones for the winter, not even we arrived at the hotel, and the president called on, and we started lecturing and saying some things. Again, I'm elected president of Nigeria. My priority was to rule. I want to pay rule. They said, look at the rule we drove on from Monrovia to the Grange there. They stopped. I can remember that morning we pick up and we're going to Maryland. So there are thousands of communities in Monrovia and they run and see no connectivity. I feel so proud of the president. We have some issue and we will resolve the issue and then to see how best we can support the president for a second time day and also he can continue with rule and connectivity. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll leave you right there, my brother from Congotown Back Road. Let's take this person. Go ahead, 1 minute. Let's hear you.
Yeah, how you doing, Kay? How you doing, Baba?
We're great, ma'am. Let's hear you.
Okay. Let me say thank you for the topic this evening. Let me say sorry to our sister. That will take heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why President we are told the Liberian people. Now we must see that when I even get it to eat it, we agree. But they say the people that want it. Find a CCTV, put it to your house. Anything coming to happen, the thing will record it. They will know when they will not go there. But when the men say that thing, they take a proposal, oh, the men about CCTV, what will I get food to eat? That's what the reason there. You can't tell me that woman I want it. Our sister that want it, she came back to CCTV. So put it out. The first time the phone went there. But she couldn't learn. Second time, this is the third time. But she couldn't learn a lesson about CCTV and put it out of your house. You get to me? So when I say sorry to her, it's painful. You born your child. Somebody just take call and just chop there for out of no reason. When I say sorry to our sister, but we want the police to do that way. You don't know the person that penetrated that house that did that. Whether they were who or the boss said, don't let know. Let know what's happening.
We will interview Moses Carter by tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully we'll do that. On the weekend's edition.
Okay. The second issue today and later Sunday report.
Mm-hmm.
What they put talking about, they not believe a low person we are. So long he become president in the country. Anything that happen on a regime, the people will say no. Anything that happens on president, we are regime, my brother. My son, okay. They will say no to it because it's not Waka. It is not for me. So anything that comes, going to say president, we are accountable. He knows nothing. So on a regime, they get sent out there for it to happen. So they will fight everything to do anything to their blood and sweat to fight against it. You think about refugee or Grand G, whatsoever. People got jobs. We got million people rushing into our place every day. People put in there. Because of the million. You get to our home and you see Nimbali, you will see that Lofa or La Liba. They put in there every day. Then you talking about one, the other place, now get population, they get population. People run over for war and they came back because we have president. The people came back to their country and they resided to the country. So they will not say because president, we are this and that. So everything they will go against it. And the people say that president, we are in president, we are voices, don't mind them. And we are not mind them, president, we are going to be president for the country. So the years coming again, will be there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. We leave you right there. We leave you. Let's take this other person. Hello, go ahead. Let's hear you. Hello? Go ahead. Let's hear you quickly. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Last time when the president talked about security, you should be security for yourself. They don't need to go and buy and hang it on yourself or sometimes. Our conduct you play your pocket party around with it. It means you always be on guard. The people that went on a lady for our eye. For the first time when they made an attempt on her, she told the security. Maybe she know what they end up follow us. She only realize after.
No. So I don't want to agree with that one. You know, I respectfully want to disagree. If she told the security, the national police. Yeah. She never even had to go do too many follow-up. The police should be able to be proactive in solving some of the problems. Yeah, the police should be proactive. So I'm not going to support anything that will beat down on the former Chief Justice. Once it is proven that she alerted the police from the onset, the police was supposed to do what is necessary.
Yeah, but you know, you can't get complete 2-3 times and people in the always inform people. You know, common question is something. You better have a trust. So people will always tell you. Okay, so whenever you know, the whole thing I see people very good. Majority of people also go and use development. You know, when you go to see people talking about food. You will see a book that says, this one is still. No, not about you way in the world to say no food about what you eat, but yesterday go on with you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's leave you right there, Pops. Let's leave you and take this other person. We have a few minutes to go. This person, go ahead. Let's hear you 1 minute.
Yes, okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Will you please send me to speak Bassa?
No, I can't understand Bassa, so I don't know what you're going to be saying in Bassa.
No, not anything bad. I just want to speak on behalf of the president of my Bassa people.
I can guarantee that. I mean, the people listening on the live, if the man saying something bad, just tell me I saw going off. Go ahead, proceed. 1 minute.
Okay, sir. What I want to say to my Bassa people is that I think I know what you here. How much I was here. You know, there was a one when you get out to get one when you on me, you want to be there with them. So I'm blessed with that man. So we are getting on the crew of car. So you're saying every 20 every or in the same pronunciation of okay, they want to change them out here. They have both presidents. Who of person you on the crew of home. I was giving you the way you think that them will give you an umbrella. You know, so peace of blessing from one compound. Thank you, okay.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you right there. Let's take this other person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm King Arthur calling from Lower Johnsonville.
Lower Johnsonville. Go ahead, sir.
Sure. You know, all those business that you get laid concerning to development are surely true. You know, when it comes to development, the first thing you talk on, which is true, is road. And you understand, after road, then you can allow to select light or water. But you know, President Tubman, the late, he had the people's stomach for 27 years. And, you know, development is not about your stomach. And, you know, the stomach is very, very ungrateful, deceiving. If you manage stomach, we'll not go anywhere. I just like people putting food business first, and, you know, in everything about just President Weah. Why President Weah is not prioritizing food and food and food? No, not yet. All the people that are making farms, they have to have roads so that their crops will come to town, their produce will come to town. But if no road, I mean, the central city where, you know, people get hard time. And you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So to prioritize agriculture is not bad, but you must first of all lay the roads. When the roads are laid, then all the other things can come. And, you know, because on a 7 good year, the third man has just, you know, prioritize road, the issue of a road. It was going to be fun for us. And even of recent where they passed government, the 12-year early Joseph Boada government, if they are really pay attention to road, this time they will be talking less about road. Actually, to admit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We leave you right there. Let's take this person. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, this is Frederick Nimna calling from New York City.
Go ahead, Frederick.
Yeah, I first want to extend my sympathy to the family, the Chief Justice family, former Chief Justice family, and KOK President. We have sometimes when he says something, you know, people take it out of context or people. But this man, he's someone, he doesn't talk much, but when he says something, the CCTV camera business he was talking about. President, we are really referring to people who are prominent in society, people who have businesses, you know, especially along the streets, so that it can help. The great United States we live, nearly every home, if you want your home to, people, attach it to their phone, so that even when they are at work, when someone approaching their house, they will know who is that. They want to know who is that person. Even you go closer to their garbage can set, they want to know who is that person. It's not the security in this country that are doing it, but individuals are doing it so that they can beef up or help the security sector. Okay, to the road issue, and you said it all. Road is very important. I live in Abidjan. I live in Ghana for so many years. That I graduated from high school. Road is the way forward for development. The reason why Monrovia is populated, because when our people in the Southeast run to Monrovia, they cannot go back. They cannot go back because they feel comfortable in Monrovia. And even because Monrovia is developed, so schools, universities, these things are there. So decentralization is very important. For the sense of to conclude, Grand Crew. Someone was talking it. One sister call on here. She was saying, Grand Crew is getting populated. There's now a town in Grand Crew County, called Giltown or something like that. Nimba Village. Nimba Village, because of the resources, the gold that people are digging. I'm telling you, the place is getting populated. Ghanaians, foreigners, everybody. I can tell you, in especially around Southtown, Barclayville area where they dig a lot of gold. So when people talking about the sensor, the people say 95% is being counted. So it's international standard. So those of you to speak to those of you who say, oh, maybe the people didn't count me, you are maybe part of that 3%. Maybe you are now whom the people pass by you. But if you are estimating, if you said 5.2 million people, meaning that it should be 5 point something, you just add it up, but it ain't going to change any different. So
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. K. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We leave you right there. We leave you, Frederick Nimini. We don't have the luxury of time. Trust me, all of the phones are ringing, but I cannot take it up. Again, I apologize. I had too many breaks, too many issues we were resolving. But again, for the sake of the platform, we had to remain and stay here on what we had to do. We'll be here on Monday, God's will. Monday, by the grace of God, we're going to be returning on the platform to continue to do what we know how to do best right here on the People's Station. My name is Kai. Alexa couldn't make it today due to some unforeseen issues. But again, we wish that she's okay, and we wish that everybody listening to the broadcast and all of you out there will have a wonderful, wonderful time. Until we meet on next week, Monday. My name is Kai. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.